What's going on, guys? Sean here, another straight razor shaving video. And today's video is for a friend of mine, my good friend Gary Shaves. He recently started his journey on straight razor shaving. He's doing a straight razor shave every Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure which one of the two, I don't remember at the moment. By the way, someone said do Movember, I think it's called. I'm trying to do this as long as I can. But once the old lady says you gotta take that shit off, it's gone. I don't argue with her, man. Before I keep talking about the video, basically it's just what I do with the grain and how to straight razor shave with the grain. With the grain is the most important pass for me. If you get big growth like guys like Eric or me, you gotta trim that growth down a little bit before you do your next set of passes. And Gary has a pretty good growth, so I think the with the grain pass is vital. It's important. Some guys can go straight against the grain, but that's not for everybody. Let me mention the gear first. Obviously, you guys know I'm in love with this Hendrickson Classics, the jack brush with the Dragon Slayer knot. I'll be using Cataragus 7/8 razors most of the shave. This has a conical edge, and I'll be using this mostly because it's pretty similar to the size that Gary is using. But I'm also testing out this other conical edge. This is my Cajun Cutter by SK Collins. Make sure Leon has a nice view there. And this also has a conical edge. This one had, when it was flat, honed on flat, it had a 14.1 bevel angle, and then I convexed it, and that's crazy, right? Because most straight razors are between 16 and 18 bevel angle, 15. The Philharmonicas, this one by SK Collins was 14.1. And then I even made it worse by convexing it, so let's see if it holds an edge. I am going to be using Wild Ode by the Cajun Blade. Eric, I helped him out with the design a little bit, but this is all him. And I'm not sure if he's going to be changing some things before he starts selling it. So good. That's for him to say, not me. Him and I talk a lot, so something he's thinking. And then I'll pair that with Aquavelva Musk, and I'm pairing that up with some good old rum, because this is one of those soaps you gotta take your time. You're gonna enjoy it so much, you might as well just have a drink as well. So all right, let's jump straight into it. Let me wet my face a little bit, and then I have a little bar soap here I got from Marshall's, and this is sandalwood. And I don't do much, just that. Wet my hand and make sure it's nice and slick. I agree with what Greg Gallant. If you're gonna do the poor man's pre-shave, I suggest doing it like Greg does it. You want it slick, nice and wet and slick, and his is probably more slick than mine. It's funny, I was browsing on the internet, looking at some forums, and someone said, if you have good shaving soap, you don't need pre-shave oil, you don't need any of that nonsense, you don't need a hot towel, you don't need anything. So I guess they're better than me. Good thing is I'm shaving myself and they're not shaving me, so let's jump straight into it. And that's what it's all about. Everybody has different things that works for them, and I'm happy they have their opinion. All right. Gary, you did excellent, my friend. Also, check out my buddies. I'm going to call them the Pascals, SR Goat, and then my buddy, Robert. I'll link their channels in the description below. Awesome guys. They're naturals, man. Robert is in his 18 or 19th straight razor shave, but dude looks like he's on his 100th straight razor shave. All right, I'm not gonna go for a really thick lather here. I'm gonna go for another one of these before we talk. But Gary, you did really good. Take your time. I'll go over why I use both hands. And by the way, this video is going to be long. It's going to be talking like I'm talking to my friend. I use both hands just because I feel like the mechanics of it are better for me. I'm a pretty muscular guy, so I can't reach the back of my reach my back here all the way, so I have a hard time moving my hand around. And yeah, I feel like same hand on the same side, it works for me. All right, this is the holy shit, brother. All right, so I try to. Sometimes in videos, I've been told I don't do it enough. I feel like I do, but I feel like I stretch a good amount, more than most people. I don't think that you can overstretch. That's not a thing for me. It's kind of like that thing when you're bodybuilding. I used to be a bodybuilder as well. You say you can overtrain. You can overtrain. What the hell is overtraining mean, man? Yeah. So I always try to have nice, tight pulling, and I think you did a really good job here in the cheeks. You can just stay in the cheeks for a while and finish with DE. That's what I did for when I started. One thing that you might not know, but if I put the blade and then go down, it might skip a little bit if it's not perfectly honed. But you're always going to have a better cut if you're moving before you're hitting the skin. Now there's a problem that if you're new to this, you kind of want to have the angle just right before you touch your skin, so you can put it, take it back, and then do it again. Okay, Gary. One thing I did notice in your video, you were trying to find the angles. And here you kind of struggled a little bit. One thing you can do here is you can, instead of stretching up here, go a little bit deeper. And now look, that's all the way down here. So you can go a little bit deeper. It's even farther down, see? And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Just pull, and I'm usually, did I just nick my hand? No, I didn't. One thing I feel like straight razor shaving does, it really does force you to learn how to stretch. I feel like if you're a straight razor shaver and you go to DE, you're gonna have a better knowledge of how to stretch. Obviously, DE guys don't need to stretch that much. But when you're stretching, you want to have a tight skin, and sometimes you see me pull the skin like this, but barbers, sometimes they just put a finger, and that creates tension somewhere in the skin. So you're going to have to find what works for you. For me, when I'm working here on the neck area, after I do this, what I just showed you, when I'm working here in the neck area, I like pulling down here. And sometimes you don't see it in the video because my head's all over here. and I'm right here and you don't see it, but yeah, I always try and pull down here. And like I said, if you feel like it's skipping a little bit, try moving your razor before it contacts your skin. All right, that's the SK Collins Cajun cutter with a conical edge. I'll look at it under the microscope and see if there's any microchipping, because if it was flat and it had a bevel angle of 14.1, and then I convexed it further, then that bevel angle might be even more acute. All right, here we have the Cataragus 7/8. This is more of the style that you had, although I think yours is a 6/8. Same thing. Oh, and this one is even more beautiful than the other one. You can do a lot of short strokes. The thing with short strokes is, in fact, if you don't have a really keen edge, maybe doing a lot of short strokes is good, because you're going over the same spot over and over. The thing with short strokes is every time you take that blade off your face, and you're going to make contact again, well, there's a risk you're going to nick yourself. So for some guys, a lot of short strokes come natural. For me, longer strokes comes really natural. So that's what I do. And see, you can manipulate your face. You don't have to use your hands. You can open your mouth and make it tight right here. But let's stop there. Let's go back to the neck. Same thing. Pull the skin. The tip always, I feel like, is a little bit, it's so far away from your hand. So if you're trying to shave with a tip, you can do it, but I always feel I have more stability with the heel and the middle of the razor, because it's closer to my hand where I'm gripping. But I have no problems using the tip either. It's just, again, I feel like for me, it works better. Okay, here in the chin area, I was gonna leave a little bit of a mustache here, longer all the way down here, but I'm not gonna do that. Some guys go across the grain, but let's stick with the grain. Obviously, this is probably the hardest area because there's a curvature there. But if you put your lip down, it's flat till here. So till there, it's flat. Here is the chin area, and here is where it kind of has a curve. What I do there is I have my angle here, and then I really lighten up the pressure on my hand. I don't dig into the razor. And there I follow the way of the my chin, and that's a skill you're gonna develop eventually. You're not gonna get it off the bat on the first try, and if you do, then you're a badass. Hopefully you do. Hopefully you're a badass straight off the gate. And sorry for the my English here. It must be the rum talking. but I'm following the way of my chin. And here I do allow myself a lot of short strokes, but I could do longer strokes. And as you saw there, I did that with both hands. Let me wet the face a little bit. And I'm not too worried about BBS right now, because this video is for anyone who's interested on with the grain pass. There's a lot of ways to do it. And what I'm going to talk about now, maybe there's other people that can give you better advice, because like I said, I use both hands. I just think it's mechanically it's better. But don't be afraid to try different things, because what works for me might not work for you. That's evident with the convex honing discussions I've had on the forums. I was asking someone about a convex honing question on a forum, and it always spirals out of control, man. My question did get answered, but it always turns into something else. I don't get why. It really is hate towards the method, because there's no way that me asking a question leads to all that. But thank you, JPO, for answering my question. And I do respect everybody that tries different things. And if it doesn't work for them, it doesn't work for them. Some people don't like pizza, some people don't like lasagna. Whatever floats your boat. Okay. So I always do my right side of the face with my right hand. But the real question is, what do you do with the farther side? So I'm right-handed, and now the left side of my face is all the way over here. How am I going to shave? I don't feel comfortable doing it with my left hand. Some guys, frick. There we go, aesthetic. Some guys do like an across the grain, which is like this, and then you would pull your ear for back here, and then you would get closer, or you could use a little towel if it's a little bit slippery. And that's one way of doing it. As long as it works for you, that's what matters. I keep repeating that, but it really is the truth. It's just shaving, so, and you have the spirit for that. I know you don't like BS, but okay, here's the other thing I wanted to teach you, or not teach. I'm not teaching anybody. This is just trying to show what I do, and hopefully that helps someone out there. So yeah, right side of the face, right hand. Left side of the face, you can go across the grain if you feel comfortable. For this one, when I started, I did feel comfortable coming all the way over here, and then I would stretch. Instead of stretching up here, I would stretch my neck as if that did anything. I don't think it really does, but I did shave the same way, going down. I will say, when you're doing your videos, try to keep the talking at a minimum when you're starting out, because with DE you can talk and shave at the same time and you can get away with it. With a straight razor, sometimes that's not the case. You might feel comfortable going, I feel really comfortable going against the grain on my left side of the face. And for me, that's probably the easiest pass. Out of all the passes, going against the grain here on the neck is probably the one that comes the most natural. Against the grain on my right side does not come natural with my left hand, but I do it. Because I'm hard-headed and I said I'm going to learn using both hands when I'm starting, because the quicker you start doing it with both hands, you're going to have an easier time in the future. Here is the pass that I wanted to talk about. It might come natural to you or easier to go across the grain here on the chin. I probably don't have a really good across the chin area pass. But there are others that do. I think the one that does the across the grain pass the best on the chin area is probably my good friend Leon. You might, I don't know if you follow him, but if you haven't, you should check him out. He has all a really good diverse strokes. Long haul tanker, check him out. And here you could also put some air. Or you could use your tongue. For me, using my tongue, using air, I usually nick myself more that way. It comes more natural to follow with the razor, moving it up and down. Another thing here in the neck area that I might mention is you could use both hands and you have this to play around with. So if that gives you more stability, why not? Yeah. This edge is amazing. My good friend, Eric the Cajun Blade, he has a weird pass on this side of the face with the same hand, which comes natural to him. It does not come natural to me. There I use both hands. It's not set in stone, is what I'm trying to say. You can find your own way, and maybe you can teach us something. Some guys go like this. And that comes natural to them. It does not to me. I still try to do it sometimes because I'm trying to learn new things every day, different ways of shaving. A lot to learn from everybody. All right, let's go to the And wow, this feels such a comfortable shave. I know I said I wanted to stay with just the with the grain, but hey, we're here. I'm done with my drink, so with the grain, if you don't have a really keen edge, it can feel very uncomfortable. At the beginning, I did not have a keen edge, and I had a gold dollar, and I was honing it on cheap hones, those Amazon hones. But I had to learn the hard way. Thankfully, you bought some good stones, so now it's just a matter of getting it really keen and practicing your technique. I think it's better to practice with a really, really keen edge, light touch, because if you learn to shave with a dull edge, you're going to start putting pressure in order to cut, and that's what happened to me. So I started using a lot of pressure with my gold dollars because they were not keen, and then when I actually got edge that was shave ready, man, I cut myself so many times. All right, here, I find it easy to follow the curve of the skin, so I start down here, and I go in an angle towards the right of my face. And right about here, I switch and go up. Notice I have my finger back here, or you could pull this here, but I like it down here, and I'm using the tip. Same thing with my right side of the face, using my left hand. I do the same thing. For today's video, I'll try something different. And when you're trying different things, expect to nick yourself, because you're trying something for the first time. One thing I used to do, and I was really happy when Greg Gallant said it, is I have a razor that is dull. Like dull, I took it to glass and I dulled it, and I used to practice my strokes. And before I do my speed shaves, I think I broke the record, 159. I'm not sure if that's the world record, but it makes for a good title. That's how I do my quick videos. I practice the strokes and how I'm going to do them before I do the actual shave. So if you have something like a Chevette that doesn't have a blade, maybe try practicing the strokes. I know other shavers that instead of going like this, like I said, they go like this. And you can blow air. You can move your skin to the, this is my right side of the face, you can move it to the left. And like I said, this does not feel comfortable. This does not come natural to me. But I do want to maximize how good I am in this hobby. You know, I've spent so much money on stones and razors. I don't want to limit myself to, okay, I'm getting good shades, so I'll stop there. I keep practicing. Here, well, we were doing this one, right? And that's an ugly stroke, but hey. That's good. Okay, I'll be the first one to say, here on the chin, I'm not good against the grain. But if I do it against the grain, I use both hands. I am good here on the flat side. I follow the lip. But most of the time, I just go. Across here. That does not feel natural at all. Okay. I'll leave it there for now. No point in going too deep into it. I hope if you're watching this video, Gary, I hope my process of doing it helps you a little bit for your next shave. If you decide that something in there makes sense. Key things for me is having a really slick lather, like Eric's soap, or Joe's soap from Subtle Art Soap Company. And then having a really keen edge also helps, because if you have a slick lather and you have a keen edge, that's just you're not even gonna feel the edge there. Let's see how we did with these two concave bevel stones. Oh yeah, that's the money right there. I never get irritation when I use the concave bevels from the convex stones. Ugh. Stretching. Make sure you strop real good. Don't be afraid to strop. Make sure the edge is making contact, because if you go really light on the strop, you might not be making contact at the apex. Make sure if you're not going to strop hard, which I suggest you do, or not super hard, but like a man, if you're not going to do that, then make sure the apex is making contact. So I see some guys strop and they're almost looks like they're not hitting the apex there. I've gotten a lot of emails from guys that said, oh yeah, stropping like you said, that shit works. So make sure you got a really good stropping on your edge. Make sure you have a good keen edge. Make sure you have a slick lather. And then make sure you stretch in different forms, using your fingers, pressure points, manipulating your face, blowing on your cheeks, moving your head, something like this is already creating tension here. I hope this video is like a blueprint and you make your own shaving routine, what works for you, because like I said, what works for me might not work for you. Edges that I like, you might not like, and so forth. I always read and reply to all your comments, so make sure you leave one in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.